Hi, everybody. I'm Karen. I'm the lesser half of our Stitching Past My Bedtime duo of Karen and Kathy and Karen. Um, Kathy and I decided that I would run solo on my WIP parade, hoping to do this quickly, but to give you an idea of what WIPs I'm looking at for 2026. Today is January 2nd. And yesterday and today, all I did was work on my New Year, New Starts. So my WIPs are fresh, like actually only worked up to December 31st. There was a mad dash there at the end to see if I could get one more finish, and I did not, but you'll see that. So a little bit about me. Like I said, Karen, it's the Karen and Kathy or Kathy and Karen show. But I am in my mid-50s. I know I don't look it, do I? Just kidding. I'm in my mid-50s. I'm married with a daughter who's going to be 20 this year. And my stitchy life started when I was younger, like everybody else. My mom taught me. And then I let it go. I had other things to do. And when I was pregnant in 2006, I picked up a birth sampler, a Busilicate, and I worked on that. I never finished it. Poor daughter who shall not be named. And it sat in a box. I didn't throw it away because you can't throw away things you make. Come on. And then 2020 happened. And during lockdown, I was painting. I was making miniatures. I did a lot of crafty things. I did some paint by numbers, which, man, that's fun. I did some diamond painting. And then I saw a FlossTuber, and I can't remember her name right now, but on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I remember cross stitch. And then I was cleaning out some boxes, and I found the birth sampler, which I still have, and I'm actually thinking about recharting it, maybe just the colors to darken it a little bit and do something kind of fun with change it from a nursery vibe to a spooky vibe. I don't know. It might be fun. And I think that my daughter would actually appreciate that. She's like, "Are you going to finish it?" And I'm like, "Why would you want this? It's like pink and mint green." And anyway, so that's a little bit about me. Let me turn that off. So my WIP parade, the end of 2025, I ended the year with 33 WIPs. I am only taking 28 of them into 2026 with me. 5 of them I have put on hold. Now, they're still here. I can see them. I didn't completely dekit them, but I did take them off Q-snaps if they were on Q-snaps, and I took their needles out and I just cleaned them up a little bit. But they're here, and a couple of them, and as as you're putting them away, you're like, oh, I really do like this. There's a reason why you started stitching them, right? So I still love them, and a couple of them, one's kitted with Vicky Clayton silks, and just one had some really funky colors, and I was like, oh, I really like that. So they're sitting there. A couple of them are noted in my goals for 2026 to be rotated in once I finish some other projects that have been hanging around for way too long. So I'm not showing those 5 today. I will bring them out in one of our FlossTubes, which we hope to do one very shortly. And I'll show you those. And you can all beat me up because I know my friend Joanna will be upset that I put one on hold, but I didn't UFO it, Joanna. It's just on hold. So when you don't see it, that's why. Anyway, so I have I'll be looking at the screen over here and my note cards. But I do have goals, loose goals for each of my WIPs. So I just thought I'd just talk quickly through the WIP, tell you how much I love them all. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tell you that. That's how much I love them. I am going to tell you where I have big goals for them or plans for them, what I plan to do. Otherwise, it's just going to be a stitch what I want. I don't do any challenges anymore. It was too much pressure. And it just took away from the fun. So now that we're 6 minutes in, let me just get started. All right, so my first WIP is London. I got into London. I have never been to London, ironically. I've been to Ireland 3 times, but not London. In 2021, I wanted to cross stitch again. That was part of the story. And I went to Etsy and I picked, because I like a challenge, I picked the biggest full coverage that I thought was the coolest looking full coverage. And I purchased that. Then I took my niece to Michael's and I got one of those the little baskets. And it was basically full of floss for the project. She thought I was insane. And I thought, oh, it'd be great. So I started it in May of 2021. And I remember taking it to the beach and I would finish a 10 by 10 square and I'd be like, oh, I finished a square. And my mother would look at me like, oh, okay. Cracking myself up. Okay, so I started in May of 2021. This is London by Craft Your Life on Etsy. I think this pattern or this picture has been around forever. I think a lot of people have done it. It's on 18 count Aida, and if you know me, you know that's insane. And DMC 2/1, and this is where I am. It is massive. It's 350 wide by 470 high. All right, so this one, you could see I really got a lot done since I've been focusing on it. I got this page done this year, and this page is almost done. I was pushing, but not quite. So the goal for 2026 is what I did for the last couple months of 2025 is that either Saturday or Sunday, depending what day works and where we don't have anything else going on, I will work on London. And so it will get 52 days this year, which is really exciting. I should get a lot of progress on that. So that's Craft Your Life. I worked 23 days on that this year, so that's pretty good. My second oldest WIP, God bless. I'm stitching this for my sister. I started this in 2023, so we jumped. I finished all my 2022 WIPs, which is great. So jump to 2023 WIP. 2023, March of 2023, my sister asks me to do a Busilikit. She resells vintage thrift, and she found a Busilikit. She looked it up, and the pattern stitched was worth more than the pattern. So she's like, Karen, can you stitch it for me so I can sell it? And I said, sure. That was in March of 2023. This is on 18 count Aida. It's all the kit. I got a little nostalgic there, and I used masking tape. Really sorry about that. Here, I do have a word. So here's my Busilikit. It's a bunch of cacti. It actually doesn't look that bad. I still have 3 and another to go. But I want to get this done this year. My poor sister, I've had it forever. I don't know. I think she's given up on it, but I really do want to finish it. So that's that. I only worked 3 days on that this year. which would explain why there's not much done. All right, so this next one is going to be a focus for 2026. Approximately, let's see, I put them in alphabetical order. It's Harriet Cooper, 1843 by Queenstown Sampler Designs. I purchased this from GaRon Stitchery when it came out at market, and Gary said I was the only one that bought it. But I like being eclectic. I like doing things that are different. So anyway, I'm doing it on 32 count Lugana. This is Fabrics by Stephanie Vanilla Latte. I'm using DMC plus and Weeks, and with one substitution, and I'll show you that. And I'm doing it over 1. So this is 32 count. You'll hear that. Actually, let's just assume I'm doing it over 1. Then I don't have to keep saying it because that's my shtick. I like small things, i.e. I worked and made miniatures for a little bit of time there during lockdown. So this was, I said, at 48.55%. And I only worked 5 days on it in 2025. But here is Harriet Cooper. I substituted the color of the road, and that path is actually like the color of the fabric. And I didn't like it. I thought that they would have more of a dirt road at this time. So I swapped that out. And actually it makes the house pop, and I really like that a lot. Oh, I said I wasn't going to say that. Anyway, so the plan is on Mondays, between this one and another one, I'm going to focus on this one. And I'll tell you which the other focus is going to be as well. So, yeah. There's that. Next, Grinch Stocking. This is by Cross Stitch Style Art with an E. 28 count Lugana. I did easy grid. Using DMC full cross. And this was started, excuse me. This was started for the Ronnie's Sakatumi Sal, where we did stockings. This was restarted. I started it in December of 2023, but I restarted it in April of 2024. It was supposed to be finished within that year. And I only worked on it 6 days this year. So you get what you pay for, right, folks? But I am pretty far along on this one. You can kind of see, I think I can just hold this. You can kind of see where I've kind of, maybe you can't. I kind of outlined where this, that goes a little higher than that, this one ridge. But all of this is this mint green color. So this will be a zoom stitch or whatever. But I started the stocking for my pug, Sadie. So I'm going to put her name on it. That's what I look like when I look at my pug. All right, so let's see. Grinch. I'm 51.05% complete on this. And I think my goal is to get it to like 75. Maybe 70. That seems reasonable. But yeah. Still working on that. All right, next is Advent Calendar. This one was enabled by Carolyn Zook of C Zook Stitch. She is doing this one as well. Oh. All right, so I am, again, this one is going to look a little different from Carolyn since I'm doing it in my 1/1 style. There. Sorry, I'm doing this. Maybe I could talk. So this pattern is called Advent Calendar for 2020 by Crochet Go Go. All right. I pulled this out to iron it, and I had a note saying to take out all the white here. I made a mistake. So here is my advent calendar for 2020. All right, guys, I'm sorry. There we go. It's a little better. I love that cardinal up there. I'll slowly go in a little bit. And there we go. I finished up the bottom too. So I really only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks, and then the big block that goes along the bottom. So I think, I don't know if this is doable for, oh yeah, I have it down for a finish. I'm 64.2% complete. It's a pretty big bottom. I think it's probably the equivalent of 2 rows. But I just love it. I think the colors pop on the gray, and I've been dreaming or thinking about how I'm going to finish it, because it's on gray, which isn't necessarily a very good Christmas color. But I have some good ideas. So that's Advent Calendar, enabled by Carolyn Zook of C Zook Stitch. And I did watch her WIP parade, and this is still one of her WIPs. So that's cool. Actually, on this one, I'm actually doing 2 strands over one. It's on granite Lugana, 25 count. So it's a little higher count or lower count. Lower count. Bigger stitches than I've been doing lately. And I started this in December of 2023, and I put in 14 days last year. So not bad. Not bad. Not the most days I've done, but not bad. All right, this next one is Scary Sampler. And I did this because it was a designer focus of the month at GaRon Stitchery in February 2024. And this is Scary Sampler by Heartstring Samplery. I started it in February of 2024. I did put all these in chronological order, so this is on 32 count Lugana, old fashioned by Fortnite Fabrics, Bowerhead. And the stitch count is 247 by 215. I'm using the Vicky Clayton Silk Pack on this, and I am fussy cutting. But I got a lot done last year. I love this one. I got all the grass done. I think the grass, well, there might be a little bit more grass over here. That dark green grass, I still have to do that. That's clearly variegated there going on. Yeah, the border, Stranger Things, that one, that's a tough border. I can tell by looking at the corner of the screen that I am not in focus. Ooh. Is it going to be like this the whole time? What the hell? Let me see. I don't have Kathy here to tell me when I'm in focus. There. All right. I'm sorry. So that's Scary Sampler. And I worked on that 21 days last year. And I got it up to Scary S, 57.02%. So I'm more than halfway through. These little stitches, hopefully I'll have this done. I don't know if I have it planned. This is the one I'm switching off with Harriet Cooper on Mondays. So I don't know if I'm going to alternate months or what, but they'll get 4 days a week, 4 days a month, trying to get to a finish. And these 2 projects are the 2 projects that I'll, once they're finished, I'll rotate in some of my similar size on hold patterns. The next one is Deadly Aquarium. Hopefully I'm putting up the patterns for you to look at while I'm getting adjusted here. This one does have a hanging thread. I'm very, very sorry. All right, I don't have that many of those, but this one, for some reason, I probably got frustrated. So this is Deadly Aquarium by Lola Crow. I'm stitching this on 32 count Lugana by Grace Notes fabric, and the color is Sarah, and it's a great color. It's great. 1/1. The stitch count is 230 by 166. As I was ironing this, I was like, this shouldn't be this small. But it's teeny tiny. Let's see if it'll, there we go. Look at that. I like this pattern. It's just not, I'm not drawn to it, but I want to finish it. I bought the Birds Extraordinary Bird Cell with the intent on finishing this one at the beginning of the year and starting that one, but that didn't happen. So I started this one in April of 2024. Oh yeah, I was supposed to finish this in 2025 and start the Extraordinary Birds, and that didn't happen. So I don't think with her patterns, I have a hard time doing them in the pieces and leaving the blanks. If I mess up, it screws up everything. It's really hard for me. I don't know. I don't like that kind of challenge. So if I like the pattern, I'm just going to buy it when it's done. So I won't be doing the sow because I never keep up. I don't know why I ever thought I would. So that's that. But it's so small. Look, it's teeny tiny. I love it. I love it. All right, I worked on that 7 days last year. So not that much, but it made the cut. All right, this next one, I started with Carolyn Zook for C Zook Stitch. We enabled each other. I don't believe she's doing this one anymore. And I know one other WIP parade I was watching, she had the same comment. We were both looking for it to see how far she'd gotten, and we didn't see it. So kind of bummed, but it's okay. I'll do it for the both of us. So this is called Halloween Window by Les Petits Croix de Lucie. Or is it Lucci? I don't know. Strings everywhere. So this one, I am doing it on the Smoky White Lugana by Zweigart, and it's a printed fabric, which I really like this fabric. The one thing about Lugana, guys, it doesn't wrinkle like linen. It's very nice, and that means that you get good tension as well when you're stitching. All right, so this is where I am. It's on 25 count Lugana. I am doing 2/1 full cross because there are blends. So that required that I do 2 strands over 1. That's how I accommodate. I have a bunch of 25, 28 count that I could do 2 strands with. And so those patterns that I love that have blends. This one is a ton of backstitch. Unfortunately, I'm waiting till the end. And then I'm going to creatively backstitch it. I'm not going to probably do 1/1. But we'll see. This one is 140 by 136. Like I said, I'm doing it 2/1. I started it in July of 2024. This one is really a hard stitch. I'll give them that. And I couldn't even get it in markup. So it is, I'm using that app where you can highlight. But man, it's really complicated to boot, and to not be able to mark it off is a lot. So I only worked 6 days on this, but I managed to get it to 50%, or at least, yeah, that's one half, and then the other half. So it's not in markup, but I could estimate that that's 50%. So let's see what my goal is for Halloween window. Oh, it's just to get it to 75%. So that should be good. I'm really enjoying having them all lightly ironed. All right, next is Nancy Drew. This was purchased on Etsy from KPL Creative X Stitch. I'm doing this on 32 count easy guide, 1/1. The pattern's 154 by 244. Put it this way. And I'm putting it up here. I started this in September of 2024 with my friend Wendy. She started as well. She's a lot farther along. But this is Nancy Drew, Secret of the Old Clock. Basically the book cover. I got to Nancy. I actually worked on this just recently. I had to pull my card out and add a day. I put in 30 days on Nancy Drew. So, and I got her to 50%. I really like this. It's actually going to be like the size of a book when it's done, which is really cool. And I enjoy stitching that. A lot of blue. So I was feeling London. I was feeling London as I was stitching it, because some of the same blues from London are in Nancy Drew, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't get rid of the blue. All right, this next one I started in November of 2024. This one is Frida Kahlo, Unconventional X Stitch. I love this pattern. Sorry, I did it. I fell right into the trap, didn't I, guys? All right, so this is Frida. I'm doing this on 28 count easy guide 1/1. I started this in November. Let's see if I can get it too. There we go. It is like a watercolor. It's really kind of dark in here. And I put 18 days on this one, so that's pretty good. And my average stitch night, my goal for a stitch night is 300 stitches. So if I do more, usually I at least try and get the 300 in an evening. And then, so 18 times, that's a lot. That's a lot of stitches you get. So, all right. This one is Camille in Bloom by Mirabilia. It's my only Mirabilia. It's the only one I own. It may be the only one I ever stitch. There are a couple other ones that I don't see a lot of people stitching that I might stitch, but they're not necessarily the pretty ladies. I'm not into the pretty ladies, except for this one. And I picked this one because this is one of the ones when I ironed realized I need to cut her fabric. She's got a lot of fabric. So this one is on 28 count April Showers by Fabrics by Stephanie. This is DMC, and I converted all the beads to Petite Silk Lame, which is really nice on on high count fabrics to stitch with. It's really nice. 1/1, 118 by 168. And this was my New Year, New Start with my Virginia stitchy group. So this was my January 2025 New Year, New Start. And as they know, I've already finished my 2026 New Start. I just picked a little one, I guess, and it was just such a fun stitch. I'm already done. You'll see that in the FlossTube. All right, so this is Camille in Bloom. I just thought that she was very unique. She's very unique in this picture frame, so it's really only like her bodice, some of her dress, but it's not her full length. And I just thought she was really unique. I don't know if you can see, there's not that much sparkle in it, which is fine with me. But yeah, oh, that blew her out. I think that she's interesting, different. So, told you I worked on her 21 days this year. So she was my New Year, New Start, and I got 21 days, and I believe I'm more than halfway. Oh yeah, it's paper. I have to mark this one off so I don't know, but this was like the first, you know, those big pages of memorabilia. I did the whole first page, so I'm saying I'm 50%. I'd like to finish her this year. Yeah, and I need to cut her fabric. Next time I pull her out, I'm cutting off the fabric. And there's that. Next, Freak for the Beak by Boomerang Stitches. And I love this pattern. My goal this year is to finish this by StitchCon so that I can show our beautiful, lovely designer my finish. Amity is such a sweetheart. Love her. And this pattern is just freaky deaky. I love it. The colors are great. All right, I'm going to try and get it back here so you can kind of, it's a little peachier than that, believe it or not. I'm stitching this on 32 count almond milk by Grace Notes Fabrics. And I'm using DMC with a couple Gentle Arts, just because I love Gentle Arts, so I'm using them. I'm doing this again, 1/1. The stitch count is 179 by 197. I believe I went all the way over to this side, and I have to come down. So, if you're familiar with the pattern, it won't be that big. And I started this in February of 2025, and I put 19 days into it. That's a lot of stitching. So there's that. All right. Now I have 2 patterns on this one, so I'm going to try and finagle it like this, so you only see the one. This next one is Blue Nude, which is the Picasso painting. I got this off Etsy, The Art of Cross Stitch. This is on 32 count easy guide, DMC 1/1. The thing is only 70 by 98, and I started it. It's kind of a pathetic start and a really bad iron job. Sorry. And I started this in April 2025. So I'm not happy with that start, but I'll get it done. I still want to do it. All right, I'm going to leave this in here. So for a Blue Nude, I only worked on that 4 days. So you get what you put in, right? All right, my next one. I just watched Gigi of the Artsy Housewife, and she said this was her favorite design, which makes me excited because it's my favorite pattern right now. I put a lot into it this year. I started it this year. I started it in June. This is Within a Dream by the Artsy Housewife on 32 count, Vintage Stormy Night, Lugana, DMC, and Gentle Arts. 1/1. I started this with my friend. I don't know if she started it. She better have. The ultimate enabler ever, Barbara. You'll hear her name a lot. Anyway, we started this after StitchCon, and I've actually put 23 days into this one. And that's how this will definitely be a finish this year. I'd like to finish it by StitchCon, but I won't see Barbara at StitchCon this year. I will see her at Stitching in the Wild. So that's the ultimate deadline. All right, look at that. It is so, that crow is something else. But I only have like the skull, the grass, and the border. That is one hell of a border, Gigi. One hell of a border. But I really like it. I've had to fussy cut this one, so but that's okay. That is okay. All right. Again, enabled by my friend Barbara at StitchCon this year, for last year, I should say. This is Study in Garden Fairies, and I'm really not sure why I picked this fabric. And I've really been focusing on Within a Dream, and then I'll focus on this one. And then I have several others of Gigi's I want to start. But when I get back to this one, I may decide to change the fabric color. But here she is. I only worked on this one 2 days. This is on 32 count deep fried Lugana by Fortnite Fabrics. This is DMC and Gentle Arts again. 1/1. I think Sarah, are you starting this one too? Studying Garden Fairies? I started this in June when I got back from StitchCon. Okay. I like this deep fried Lugana, but I'm just not sure if I'm gonna like the. I have to. I don't know. Second guess myself again. All right, Barbara. This is all StitchCon enabled by Barbara. All right, this one. This one is something else. Let me tell you. This is Kathy Barrick's From Velvet to Linen. And I liked it because this is not a bad term. It's funky. Eclectic stitcher, and I thought that this was funky. I have a velvet painting. I have a velvet Elvis. I know everybody's going to be so jealous. It's really hard to find a velvet Elvis these days. I've had one since I think I got it just after college. And I love it. So From Velvet to Linen, up my alley. I am going to pick out that bird and restitch it because I read the colors wrong or it was charted weird. But I don't like the bird the way it is. I tried to fix it, but I'm going to redo it. So this is where I am. From Velvet to Linen. I am at 29.14%. And it got really dark. There we go. This is stitched on 32 count colonial parchment by Fabrics by Stephanie, Lugana, 1/1, June 2025. Barbara. Just in case you needed to be reminded, it's a Barbara. Okay, let's see how I'm doing on time. Oh, I'm hurrying. Okay, done vegan fairy flag by The Primitive Hare. Started again in June. I started a lot in June. The vegan fairy flag is on 28 count Lestrange by Atomic Ranch. I wanted it to be kind of moody. DMC 1/1. And I started this for Kathy's birthday. Even it wasn't a birthday like stitch along. It was I started this as my Kathy birthday start. But I only worked 3 days on it, so not too big of a start. So I'm trying to pick up the pace. I did a lot of talking. All right, this one also came from StitchCon. My friend Lynn of Those Missing Stitches and Our Beautiful Fabrics. Lynn and I were talking, and she knew I was going to restart my Owl Forest Embroidery Alice in Wonderland, and she recharted it because there were pieces of it I didn't like. She recharted it to basically be a band sampler. So I don't have a picture to show you, but I finished the first row and I did it on this. That's kind of truer to color on 32 count Miss Myrtle, by Millennial Fabrics. So I think I love the band sampler idea, and her recharting is freaking phenomenal. Thank you, Lynn. She shared it with me. I'm using Gentle Arts and DMC. And I started this in July of 2025 for Lynn's birthday. So there we go. Lynn's birthday. And I stitched on this. I actually started it and restarted it and restarted it on the fabrics. But I got 9 days total because I just couldn't find the right fabric to make that white pop. As I was putting my WIPs away, I found the first start I did, and I actually still like it. So I might keep it and do that one too someday. I'm not going to destroy it. All right. Staying on the Alice in Wonderland theme, in a couple days later, my little sister, Jo, said she was going to do a Lena Ova, the Mary Poppins, for my mom. And I was like, oh, I've had a Lena Ova on the brain, but I was able to resist. But when Jo said she was doing it, I was like, okay, I'm going to do one too. I'll do one with you. I'm doing this Alice in Wonderland on 32 count old fashioned. There was something else I was doing on old fashioned that I've already said. So I really like this color. It's just all 310, 1/1. And since then, I started this in July. And since then, my sister's quit on her Lena Ova because she was doing it on 8. It was going to be really big. And I think she got bored. So this is going to be gorgeous, but I have a note in the bag that something went awry in that last diagonal I stitched, so I'm going to have to figure out what I did wrong. And I'm saying that out loud so I don't forget. All right. And that one I did 10 days. All right. This one is, if I don't say what their goal is, I don't have any special plans. This one is Let Love Rain by Teresa Kogut. And if any of you know me, you know that is not my style. I don't know what came over me, but I really like the color palette. That's what attracted me to this one. And because of that, I did some deep thinking. I had purchased the Vicki Clayton silks, and so I did not want to waste my money, and decided to stitch the bands that I really liked and do a modified Let Love Rain. So I'm doing there's 2 bands in particular I'm doing. My goal for this year is to finish the 3 motifs. I think there's 3 motifs on this band. And then the band on the bottom is a lot bigger. The one that I picked. But we'll see how that progresses. I haven't decided about the flower border. I think it would bore me to tears. So I'm not stitching it, but I don't know what I'm going to put. I think I might just make the line that I have there dark, like make it bolder. I think that's just what I'm going to do. But I really am liking this. This is on 32 count Mirkwood by Atomic Ranch. I really like this color. This is a good neutral. I really like it. And I started that in August. I purchased that from GaRon. I'm in their Fabric of the Month for Atomic Ranch. And I put 9 days on that. So that's pretty good. I don't know. All right, this next one is a series. I've already finished the first pattern. I started this with, the first one was a birthday sal with Carolyn Zook and Kathy. We all started this series together. There's 6 of them in total. I believe Carolyn has decided not to continue on with this pattern, which is fine. That's everybody's choice. But I'm going to continue on with the series because I bought all the fabric, even though I don't need it. And we have the silk packs that were provided by Kathy and her friend, Deb. So this is Blooming Bouquet number 2, Cheerful by Jeanette Douglas. Like I said, I did number 1 already. This is on 32 count Legacy by Picture This Plus, Lugana. And it's the called for silk pack 1/1. I started this in August of 2025. I really, really like this one. Yeah, I am into funky flowers. Not that this is funky, but I'm picturing like a funky flower wall going up my stairs. I just think that would be cool. I'm not a flower girl at all, which is really weird. It's the color palettes or the funkiness, whatever. All right. For a blooming bouquet, I put in 3 days. So not that many days on that one to start, but start nonetheless. This one is only one of a handful I'm doing on linen because I'm using the called for linen that I purchased with GaRon. So this was a 2024 Stitching in the Wild exclusive. I started this in September. This is a 2024 Stitching in the Wild exclusive, but I just started it at Stitching in the Wild 2025 with my friend Gina. And this is Wilding Hill Manor by Little Ribbon Designs. This is on 32 Count Haunting by Seraphim Fabrics Linen, using the called for because I bought the pack. I don't know how to say this, but I'm not a huge fan of linen. I like the fact that this is the called for, but because I do it so small, you don't get the effects from the linen you would if you were doing it. Like Gina's is going to be gorgeous. But it's okay. I put in 7 days on this so far this year, or 2025, and my goal is to finish this by Stitching in the Wild. So I always have one that I start at 1 year, finish it by the next one. Last year I did, it was another Little Robin Designs, and I picked it up that year in 2024, finished it for the 2025, and it was called, it's the red one. Oh well, move on, Karen. Move on. All right, this next one is on the other side of Blue Nude. This is called, and you're going to see it because I don't know why I put them so close together. This is called I Want to Believe for my X-File friends, fans, friends. This is on 32 Count Lugana, Easy Guide, DMC 1/1. This is the one I tried to finish. But I had like over 2,000 stitches of black, or 939 that I needed to put in. But I started this in August and I put in 23 days. So this one has seen a lot of days, and you see the progress as a result. There you go. I Want to Believe. I really like this one, but you'll see this one finish soon. All right. Another one that I purchased from GaRon Stitchery in their Halloween mystery box. I started it this year in October for designer focus of the month was Stitchy Pros. And this is called Frankenstein Sampler. But I am doing a modified sampler. I'm not doing the alphabet. I'll stop at the words. And I'm doing this 32 count Spellbound by Under the Seas. And it's the called for weeks, I believe. All right. My next one is, and let's see how many days I put in that. 8. This one is the Graveyard Wanderer, or A Graveyard Wanderer. I joined the Witchy Stitchers Patreon to get this, but missed it, but I'm still in it because she's had a lot of great patterns this year. She is selling this one now. Let's see. Get my face out of there. Oh, come on. Where's Kathy to tell me when I'm in focus? There we go. Look at that. Look at the eyes. Look at the detail. Look, people. That's what I like. I like the detail. I like it to look like a painting. So this is by the Witchy Stitcher on 32 count Vintage Storming Night. Zweigart, Lugana, whatever one. I started this in October and I put in 6 days. That's pretty good for 6 days. Almost 30% complete that. This one was another impulse. Start all the things. Oh, did I tell you guys that I started? You guys aren't going to believe this. I started 34. I only finished 16. And I only fully finished 4 last year. Anyway. All right. So this is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I don't know. That's what I call it. I don't know what it's called. I'm not sure who the designer is, but you can find this pattern all over the Etsy. It's Speak Your Mind Even If Your Voice Shakes. I didn't know what color to put it on, so I looked up RBG's favorite color was blue. So that's why I did it on the blue. But it's just going to be black with the words in white on a beautiful blue fabric. That's 32 count Forget Me Not by Atomic Ranch. I started this in October. I started a lot in October. And I worked on it for 5 days. It's a lot of fill-in, so I have a lot of good retreat stitching. This one is in the same vein. This one is again. This is my Twin Peaks fan friends. This is Damn Fine Cup of Coffee by Dots and Spots on Etsy. This is Agent Cooper, in case you didn't know. And it'll say a damn fine cup of coffee. And it'll be all black with the words in the negative. And then this is on 32 count Blossom by Fabrics by Stephanie, all in 310. I started this in October. There was a little theme there. They're easy stitches. And if you're tired, you just put on your favorite show and do some, I worked 10 days on that one. Do some filling. All right, this one is my last WIP. This one is Pogue Mahone. And if you don't know what that means, it means kiss my... I bleeped myself. Did you like that? All right, so this is just the bottom. I started this in November. This is the Rebel Stitcher. This is by Rebel Stitcher Designs, Pogue Mahone. This is on 32 count antique copper. I bought it at Salty Yarns. I love this fabric color is beautiful. It's called antique copper. I don't know who makes it. It was just in like a remnants bag. And I'm using Gentle Arts 1/1. And I haven't really picked it up, but we all started it at Salty Yarns in Ocean City, and you can't see because it's so little you can't see the stitches. Anyway, this is really going to be a tone on tone when it's done, I think. But Kathy, we're all stitching it with Kathy. I don't know if Kathy started. Kathy, have you started? Can't start a Sal and not start the stitch. But we're all stitching it. That's my whole WIP parade. So yeah, I started 34 patterns. I finished of those 34. I finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 2 are in the holds. 1 was a restart, but I put that on hold. Let's see. I finished 16, fully finished 4, and yeah, I didn't have a lot of finishes. I had a ton of starts. So going into 2025, I have 28 WIPs active. All right, everybody. If you made it this far, give me a apple emoji, and I'm just picking that. I'm sure there's an apple in the comment section. Please subscribe. Kathy and I will be back for a regular scheduled FlossTube here very shortly. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye.